These are the 6 signs that you are no longer a weak man. Once you begin to notice these signs in your life, just know that you've moved from being a weak man to a man who exudes strength and raw masculinity. The very first one is you don't beg for anybody's attention anymore. Once you get to that point in your life where you don't really need anybody's attention, whether they are texting you, whether they are calling you, it doesn't really matter to you. You are comfortable with being alone. That is one of the signs that you've gone from being a weak man to a man who is strong. Because one characteristics of weak men is they always need people's attention. They always want people to call them. They always want people to be around them. They're not comfortable in their own company. They always want everyone to be, in their space. And if those people are not in their space, they'll start forcing themselves on those people. As a man, you don't force yourself on people. You don't get yourself into that position where you need people to be giving you their attention. A man who is strong doesn't need your attention. If you give it to him, good. If you don't, good. And this is why majority of women tend to mistreat weak men. Because when a woman comes into your life and discovers that you need her attention very badly, she will use it as a means to control you, as a means to punish you, as a means to manipulate you. Because obviously you want her attention so badly. So that is the first sign that you've gone from being a weak man to being a man who is strong. The next one is you find yourself being calm when things go wrong. As a man, if you are that kind of person who is easily moved, who is easily pushed, who is easily emotional under pressure or when things go wrong, that is a sign that you're a weak man. One of the things that makes a man is your ability to stay calm even when the world is collapsing. You remain calm. Now, it is paramount that as a human being, you are meant to fear, you are meant to, be afraid. But the difference between men and some other kind of men is your ability to hold in or to hold back that fear. Fear is something that is natural as a human being. But it is your job to hold back your fear. It is your job to hold back that your urge to explode, when things are going wrong, to start crying, to start complaining, to start murmuring, to start throwing tantrums. If you find yourself being calm under pressure, that means you are becoming a strong man. And of course, one of the things that builds a man into a strong man is when he has faced so many challenges. A boy doesn't become a man by having an easy life. What makes a boy to become a man and a strong man at that is when he has faced so much challenges. This is why as a young man, because I believe majority of you guys who watch my videos are young people, you should learn to throw yourself into challenges. You should learn to throw yourself into things that will challenge you to the best of your capability. If you are comfortable in your comfort zone, you'll never be a man. You'll never be a strong man. What makes you a strong man is your ability to surmount different problems. Because the more you get used to facing these problems, the calmer you are under pressure. It's that simple. The next sign is you don't argue unnecessarily with people. One thing that is very, very common amongst weak men is they always argue. Any small thing you start arguing. But as a strong man, as a man who is a man, you always ask yourself, what will I gain if I argue with this person now? Personally, this is what I always ask myself before I waste my time with anyone in the name of argument. Before I will argue with you, I'll ask myself, what will be the benefit or the end result of me arguing with you? If I say something and you don't agree, I'll tell you, no problem. Because I know that it's me wasting my time arguing with you unnecessarily. Now, there are times that you should argue. But most times, when people say certain things, you don't need to dive head on and start arguing with them. Because majority of times, what you people will always argue, what you will always argue with people are things that don't even make any sense. So don't even waste your time with them. A man who is strong is a man who is on a mission. And a man who is on a mission is not a man who wastes his time anyhow on people. The only time he will argue is when it's necessary, when there is a benefit in that argument. Not when you just someone will say something and you don't like what they say, you start arguing with them. Makes no sense. It shows that you're not very, very prudent with your time. That's just what it shows. And when you're not prudent with your time as a man, that means you will not be able to accomplish much in your life. Because time is the unit of life. If you don't utilize your time very well, that means you are going nowhere in life. The next one is you always keep to your words. As a man who wants people to respect you, because people can only respect you if you're a strong man, you must learn to keep to your words. If you tell somebody, I will do this thing for you, do it. Your word as a man should be what people can bet on. There are some people who would tell you now, I'll give you this money tomorrow. And other people around that place will tell that person that he told that into. Better collect your money now. Better collect your money now if you know what is good for you. This guy does not keep to his words. But when you can go to a place and tell those people, I'll give you your money tomorrow. And people will be like, yes, just believe him because he always keeps to his word. That is a man who people will respect. When you say you do something, whether for others or for yourself, always do it. If you say you start this business next year, keep to your words. When you are someone who always procrastinates, today you say, oh, I'll start tomorrow. By tomorrow you say, I'll start the other day, the next day. It becomes a problem. People will always see you as weak, and you will see yourself as someone who is also weak. As a man, you must keep to your words. Whether you gave people your words or you plan something that you do for yourself, always keep to your words. It's important because weak men never keep to their words. Nobody can bet on a weak man's word because his word is double. He can tell you one, tomorrow he will tell you two. But a man who is strong, a man who is respectful, who is very respectable, will tell you one today, and tomorrow he will still tell you one because he keeps to his words. The next one is you demand king treatment from women. Yes. When you're a man who has gone from being weak to being strong, you start demanding for more from women. Of course, as a weak man, you are basically a simp. Women treat you anyhow, women talk to you anyhow, and you always take all those things. But the moment you start becoming a strong man, you start demanding for more. Because as a strong man, you know it's your job to take care of your woman. You know it's your job to be very chivalrous to your woman. But at the same time, you will always expect your woman or demand that your woman also treat you well. Because it makes no sense you treat your woman well and she doesn't treat you well. That means you don't even have self-respect for yourself to allow a woman to come into your life and she doesn't treat you well. That means you don't even have any kind of self-love for yourself because that is the only reason why you'll be tolerating such a nasty behavior from a woman. You are treating her well and she's not treating you well. It makes no sense. So these are the signs of a man who has gone from being a weak man to being a strong man. And I believe most of you out here are strong men. If you're a weak man, try your best to become a strong man. A man who respects not only himself, but also those around him.